I'm all for seeing more women. This is not about the gender that is going on in the competition. This is about your build was not good enough. This is News on a Tuesday, and man, we just have we've got some things to talk about. We've got a hot topic that really needs to be discussed. I mean, this is something that at this point in time I really didn't think was an issue anymore, but it is, and so we've got to talk about it. We've got some other things to discuss as well. So let's dive in. We'll dive into the big, meaty topic right from the start. So I usually don't get involved in things that people say and run with it. And not even run with it, just a matter of being involved with it. But I found this very fascinating. We're talking about LEGO Masters. And LEGO Masters Season 2 just wrapped last week. Well, the episodes have wrapped. Production's been done for a while. But what really needs to be discussed here is the results, right? You know who the winner is, the winning team is. You know the 3 teams that made the final. You know there were 12 teams in total that were involved in this thing. And I've received an email from a few of you in regard to LEGO Masters and really how it does need to be changed. Probably the most notable that I received was from Kent Slocum. I hope you don't mind me mentioning your name, Kent, but his email was fascinating. And he is basically on the same level that I was. We don't get to see enough. And I probably got no less than, I think it was probably 8 or 9 at for sure emails specifically about Lego Ideas. Lego Masters. I was reading an email about Lego Ideas. That's why. But I find it very fascinating. And I think we need to have him on as a guest. Because this isn't just my experience. This isn't just other folks that watch the show. This is now somebody else that is like, dude, I'm fully behind you. What do we have to do to get this thing fixed? Safety in numbers. Ratings talk. Ratings fix everything. You don't watch, there is no money. The production goes belly up. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm simply saying I hope things get adjusted. So that isn't where I wanted to go with this. That was probably one of the most well-written emails I have received in a very, very long time, laying out the argument and everything towards why the season needs change. Not this season, but moving forward. So back to what I was talking about. So we ended up with six. Yes, we ended up with 6 males at the top. We had 3 pairs of brothers, Mark Steven, Zach Wayne, Caleb Jacob. And there are 12 teams this past year versus season 1 when there were 10. And where I'm going with this is this. About a week ago, one of the season 1 contestants, she goes by Ragsy Art. And I don't care if you tell her or not. She was one of the final pairs from season 1 that went to the showdown. Her partner was Samuel. Boone and Mark ended up finishing second. Tyler and Amy, we know, won. Tyler and Amy were the married couple. They had some wicked cool stuff. And she put out a tweet, which is kind of funny because she really doesn't seem to be as vested into it. But she put out a tweet, and I'm going to read it to you verbatim. Sad to see not a single female in LEGO Masters Fox finale out of 6 contestants. Okay. Why? Because there were 2 in season 1? Michelle and Natalie were right there. They were on the cusp of making it. Frankly, I thought they could have been in it easily. But are we really making this about the sex of a contestant? Again, the gender of a contestant here? I mean, frankly, I loved Michelle and Natalie. Well, I don't think they had any business being anywhere in the top 2 teams. Maybe 3, yeah. I mean, if we were to go back to season 1, I did not see Sam and Jessica anywhere near the top 3. I mean, if you go back and you look at how her and her partner went, this is how their episodes went. They were at risk for the first 2. Then they placed second. Then they were in the middle, placed second. Then they were at risk. They never won anything. So is it that you're angry at how it turned out for you? Or are you really just that angry that 3 pairs of brothers made it because of their exceptional building skill? I mean, if you really want to break it down and get to numbers here and get down to the mathematics of it, there were 6 females out of 20 in season 1. Comes out to 30%. There were 8 in season 2. That is 33%. If you're going by the numbers, there's more females in season 2 than season 1. So you can't complain. The casting directors did that. They set this up. Frankly, I think they picked a very good group of people. There's a few that I think were out of their element, but they were trying to hit a certain demographic. Jack and Dawn are nice people. I personally don't think that they were right for this competition. Paris and Moto were probably above what this competition can really do. I think if it was more to the away from the aesthetics and more to the technical part of the builds of things, I think they probably would have gone a lot further. I mean, they're engineers. And here's the other thing. Talking to both of them, Moto is somebody that it takes hours and hours to build a sculpture. I mean, it's something small. Had they had the 24 hours, let's say they had 24 hours for one sculpture, they probably would have been in there the entire way and ended up in the finale. But again, time is of importance in LEGO Masters because you are only allotted so much time. And that's where the difference comes. But to sit there and say, okay, you're frustrated, but some of you are going to criticize me right now, and that's fine. But it was the way that it was handled. You can have your opinion. I have my opinion. But when others kind of brought forth what they were talking about, it was immediate frustration. So I don't know where this is coming from. I mean, we had 2 full pairs, 2 teams of all women. I'm all for seeing more women. This is not about the gender that is going on in the competition. This is about your build was not good enough. Natalie and Michelle's build was not good enough. Zach and Wayne's build was not good enough to win the final. And again, like the judges had said, it was going over the whole competition. It was everything. It wasn't just that one build, but their portfolio wasn't good enough. I disagree. I think theirs was probably better than Mark and Steven's, but I'm not a judge. But I mean, I want to give you the rundown. All right. So your first female out of 8 went out in episode number 2. That was Dawn, which I think everybody expected. Then we went another 2 episodes. 2 other teams went home before the next one went home. That was Sarita. Then we lost our first pair of female challengers in Susan and Jen. Then Maria and Philip. So Maria went home the next week. And then Lauren and Brian. So Lauren went home. There's your next one. Dave and Richard. I think David and Richard should have gone to the final 4. I could have easily seen them in the final 3. And then Natalie and Michelle went home as the 4th team. I mean, they went far. They went absolutely far. And just to say, oh, they didn't make it to the final episode, to the finale. They went pretty darn far considering they were an all-female team. The all-female team in season 1 did not last very long. They lasted to the 5th episode. They were gone before the halfway point. Gone. Why can we not just experience what TV show is put in front of us? Why do we have to try and make something more out of it? This was supposed to be a fun Lego show. I'm not frustrated or ticked off or anything about the lack of seeing more of the builds. I just hope it's something that gets adjusted moving forward. But to really kind of run it home that, well, there's not enough females in the finale. There's none. Well, we're going by builds. That's what this show is about. Not whether you're a girl or a guy. That's just not what this is about. And it almost seemed like a weird, I'm going to get on my soapbox and make a political statement. I mean, I'm sure she has an in still with them. I'm sure she can put in her 2 cents and be like, hey, but here's the thing. I don't have specific numbers, but I'm almost willing to bet that there are more men Lego builders around the world than there are female. All you have to do is go to a Lego show, go to a Lego convention, go into a Lego store. I guarantee you it's 70-30, 75-25, if not higher, towards male. That's why Lego launched the Lego Friends line, to get more young girls involved in it. I love Lego Friends. I love the Elves line. So can we not just get back to what the build was and just focus on their builds weren't good enough? They did some wicked, crazy things to get to where they were. I mean, if you look at their track record, this is what Natalie and Michelle's track record looked like. They were golden. They were hanging out middle class for the first few episodes. Then they got a win. Then they were in the bottom 2. Right? So halfway through the season, it's starting to feel. Then they're in the middle of the pack again. We're good to go. And then they were in the bottom 2 or at risk 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row before they were eliminated the following episode. And I had said it all season long. You cannot be hanging out in the bottom 2. You make it a habit of hanging out in the bottom 2, you're going to be gone. And it happened. It's not something I wish for. I think they're really great people. I had a blast talking to them. That doesn't change the fact, though, that their builds just didn't cut it. They weren't good enough. So to say, oh, more females should have been in, you can't do that. I mean, she did. You can. I don't think it's the right thing, but I'm not the right or wrong judge here. That's not what I'm doing. I just think it's kind of asinine to say that. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. I'm really curious to know what you think as far as, well, yeah, totally should have been in there. Natalie and Michelle, everybody's got their favorites. I was cheering on them. I told you they were my horse. It was them, Zach and Wade, right from the beginning. If they'd have been in there, cool. I was a fan of theirs. I like their builds. That paint can build I was smitten by it right from the get-go. I'm like, woohoo, yeah, all right, let's do this. But it didn't happen. In the end, it just didn't happen. And frankly, they faced tough competition, and they came out on the losing end of it. So I'll be curious to see what the casting looks like moving forward. And here's the other thing I'll say. If Jessica is such a big advocate for having more women builders in the competition or in the community, she can control that. She can help that. Maybe not control it. Control might be the wrong word. Control is an illusion anyway. But she can help improve that. Advocate for women. Get out there and do it. I mean, there's the Women's Brick Initiative. Megan Lum, who was on all of those interviews with us, with the contestants that got booted off. She's part of the WBI. She advocates for women, young girls, taking part in LEGO. I'd also be curious to see what LEGO's hiring statistics are for females in their for their company in general. Because I know there's a lot. There are a lot of female designers. A lot. I don't know what the ratio is, but I'm sure it's pretty darn good. Anyway, so that was I guess you could call it my soapbox. Either way, I had to bring it up. It was something that really blew my mind. It really kind of stood out to me, and I was like, how? Really? This is what? That's like getting pissed off because you didn't win the lottery and you didn't buy a lottery ticket. Anyway, moving along. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was the new Lego Santa's sleigh that is coming out. Of course, it's Lego. Why would it not be Lego? We only talk Lego in here unless it comes to Lego Masters and controversy. Anyway, so this set is coming out October 1st. Yeehaw! On the website, in stores. Obviously, all the other Lego holiday stuff is rolling out. I've already seen all the advent calendars out everywhere. The Winter Village is currently available. If you guys are curious, go get it. It is really cool. Hopefully you listen to that episode. Anyway, so this thing is coming out October 1st. It's going to be $37 here in the US. I know it's a weird price point. Thing's going to have 343 pieces. And the cool thing is, I talked to April B about this. I talked to Dan about this. Brix O'Brien and Jang a few Fridays ago. Hey, it's got 4 reindeer. You buy 2 sets, yeah, it's going to run you over $70. But hey, you got 8 reindeer, dude. You have 8 reindeer. I love that. That is cool. The sleigh looks amazing. Some people are really into it. I love it. This is just going to fit. To me, this goes perfect with this year's Winter Village set. You put the sleigh on the ground next to it. You have the light up Christmas tree. You have Santa going down the chimney. Dude, it's there. It's done. I love it. Prices for other places. It's going to be the same amount of euro. It's going to be 50 Canadian, and it's going to be 31 pounds. I almost said euro again. The little pound symbol always throws me off. It's so pounds symbol, not pound as in the hashtag. So I'm really excited about this. I definitely need 1, if not 2. That would be fantastic. So the one of the other things I wanted to talk about here, Fan Day is coming up for Lego at the Lego House. It's a new fan exhibition. I can't ever say that word right. With a live presentation, and there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff that is going on there. You know, there's new things that are going to be shown. Not new products, just other kinds of things. But what is cool is this is usually you've got to be in person. You can't do it unless you're in person. What stinks is those of us that live in North America, South America, Asia, Far East Asia, we can't get to Denmark. Dude, it cost me probably $2,500 right now to get a ticket for next year, round trip. It's insane. Anyway, so the event is going to be 2 to 4 p.m. on Central Eastern Standard Time. So that's Denmark time. If you're curious, it's a 7-hour time difference between here in Dallas to Denmark, 6 hours from the East Coast to Denmark. So at 2 p.m., they're going to have this little forum go on, and you're going to be able to meet the design vice president, Matthew Ashton, who did the Everybody is Awesome. Everyone is Awesome. I can't remember the name of it anymore. And also was a co-designer on the Fab 5 loft, which still is an interesting set to me. I'm really shocked by that. What was in it? How much really good detail was in it? So you'll be able to hear from him all the news that him and his team are going on. If you saw his video, I think I already mentioned this. It was either on Twitter or on Instagram, and he was just going on and on about it. He's working on this and this and this, and he's a part of that team and this, and it's just nuts. 2:45 CEST time. The 10th anniversary of Lego Ninjago. Yep, my ears perked up. Whoop, what? Absolutely. I will be in there. And then at 3:30 p.m., the Lego Group sustainability update, which I find is really kind of cool. So if you're curious where you can check this out, I'm going to drop the link in the show description, the show notes. I don't know that it will link it. You might just have to copy and paste. Some places it's linking it on some podcast sites. Some it is not. So just be mindful of that. So I'm interested. I'm very interested to see how this goes. I am hopeful that they do more of this live stream type stuff. You already have everything set up now. Due to the pandemic that happened, a lot of companies are now more prepared to do live stream. There's some companies that haven't even gone back to in-person meetings where it's just planning from a distance, which is kind of wonky to me, but whatever. So that's what I've got for this episode. I know I went a little bit long on the Ragsy Art tweet, but I find it interesting. I find it very, very interesting. So if you're curious, I'm curious to know what you have to say. So shoot me a message, social media, send me an email. If you want to be an angry elf, send me an angry elf email. I don't care. I'll read it. I will probably kindly respond because I love hearing others' viewpoints. I just don't agree with this one in this case. Just like people don't agree with mine. How can you like that? You're such a clown. I know. I'm always a clown. Anyway, with that said, this episode of News on a Tues is over. I will see you guys next time. And as always, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's bet on it.